Can I figure out if Jamie Lee Curtis is actually backing Daryl Hannah in this Ryan Murphy feud? Hollywood is no stranger to drama, but every once in a while a story surfaces that captures everyone's attention in a unique way. Recently, rumors of tension between filmmaker and television creator Ryan Murphy and actress Daryl Hannah have sparked widespread curiosity among fans and entertainment insiders alike. What has made the situation even more intriguing is the possibility that another major Hollywood figure may be quietly taking a side, none other than Jamie Lee Curtis. The entertainment industry thrives on collaboration. Directors, writers, producers, and actors must work closely together to bring stories to life. But as anyone who has worked on a creative project knows, collaboration can sometimes lead to disagreements. When those disagreements involve high-profile personalities, they can quickly become the subject of speculation and headlines. That appears to be exactly what is happening with the rumored feud between Ryan Murphy and Daryl Hannah. Murphy has built a reputation as one of the most influential television creators of the past 2 decades. Through projects that have pushed creative boundaries and sparked cultural conversations, he has established himself as a powerhouse in Hollywood storytelling. Many actors have worked with him on multiple occasions, praising his creativity and the opportunities he gives performers to explore complex roles. At the same time, Murphy's strong creative vision means he tends to run his productions with a very clear direction. For some collaborators, that level of control can be inspiring. For others, it can occasionally lead to creative friction. Daryl Hannah, meanwhile, is a well-known actress with a long and diverse career. Over the years she has taken on roles that range from action and drama to independent films and environmental documentaries. Known for her strong personality and willingness to speak openly about her experiences, Hannah has never been shy about sharing her thoughts on the projects she works on. According to reports circulating within entertainment circles, the tension between Hannah and Murphy began when she discussed her experiences working with him during an interview. While the comments were not necessarily explosive at first, they hinted at some frustration regarding how her creative ideas were handled during a particular project. In that interview, Hannah reportedly spoke about the challenges of working within a highly structured creative environment. She suggested that some of her contributions or suggestions may not have been received as openly as she had hoped. For many observers, those comments seemed like fairly typical reflections from an actor discussing a past collaboration. However, because Ryan Murphy is such a prominent figure in television, even subtle remarks about working with him quickly attracted attention. As the interview gained traction online, speculation began to grow about whether the relationship between Hannah and Murphy had deteriorated behind the scenes. Things appeared to escalate when Murphy himself made comments that some interpreted as a response. While he did not directly name Hannah in those remarks, observers noticed that the tone suggested frustration with certain performers who challenged the structure of a production. Hollywood fans are often quick to connect the dots when two public figures appear to reference each other indirectly. As a result, the story began spreading across entertainment blogs, social media platforms, and fan forums. Soon, the idea of a feud between Ryan Murphy and Daryl Hannah became the narrative driving the conversation. But the situation took an even more interesting turn when Jamie Lee Curtis became part of the discussion. Curtis is widely respected in Hollywood, not only for her acting career, but also for her professionalism and thoughtful public commentary. Over the years she has worked with Ryan Murphy on several successful projects, including seasons of the anthology series American Horror Story. Because of this history, many people assumed that if any disagreement involving Murphy arose, Curtis would naturally remain neutral or supportive of her longtime collaborator. However, certain comments she made in interviews began to raise eyebrows. During one conversation about the importance of respectful collaboration in film and television productions, Curtis emphasized that every performer deserves to feel heard and valued on set. While she did not mention either Murphy or Hannah directly, some listeners felt that her remarks echoed the concerns Hannah had described in her earlier interview. That subtle connection was enough to ignite speculation. Fans and media outlets began wondering whether Curtis was quietly showing support for Hannah's perspective. Of course, interpreting statements like these can be tricky. Actors often speak broadly about industry experiences without intending to reference any specific situation. But when multiple public figures are involved in an unfolding story, even the most general comments can take on new meaning. Adding to the intrigue was a rumored social media post that some fans believed might have hinted at Curtis's stance. While the post itself did not explicitly mention Ryan Murphy, or Daryl Hannah, its message about listening to colleagues and respecting creative contributions was interpreted by some followers as a possible signal of solidarity. It is important to note that these interpretations remain speculative. Neither Curtis nor Hannah has publicly framed the situation as a personal conflict, and Murphy himself has not directly confirmed any feud. Yet in Hollywood, perception can sometimes become its own form of narrative. Once the idea of a disagreement enters the public conversation, it often takes on a life of its own. Fans analyze interviews, revisit past statements, and search for clues that might reveal what is really happening behind the scenes. In this case, Jamie Lee Curtis's involvement adds an additional layer of complexity. Because she has a strong working relationship with Ryan Murphy, any suggestion that she might support Hannah's viewpoint carries potential implications. If Curtis truly does sympathize with Hannah's concerns, it could indicate a broader conversation within the industry about how creative collaboration is handled on large productions. At the same time, Curtis has built a reputation for diplomacy and fairness. She is known for encouraging respectful dialogue, rather than fueling public conflicts. This makes it entirely possible that her comments were intended simply as a general reflection on the importance of listening and collaboration in filmmaking. Still, the timing of her remarks has kept fans curious. Many people are watching closely to see whether Curtis will address the situation more directly in future interviews. Another factor that makes this story so compelling is the personalities involved. Ryan Murphy's projects often attract major talent and generate passionate fan communities. His work has shaped the careers of numerous actors and has helped define the tone of modern television drama. Daryl Hannah, meanwhile, represents a different kind of Hollywood voice, one that values creative independence and personal authenticity. When individuals with such strong identities and reputations appear to clash, the result naturally captures public attention. The addition of Jamie Lee Curtis, an actress admired across generations, only heightens that interest. For now, the exact details behind the rumored feud remain somewhat unclear. What we do know is that Hannah expressed some dissatisfaction with aspects of her collaboration with Murphy, and that Murphy later made remarks that some interpreted as a response. Beyond that, the story largely consists of speculation and interpretation. Curtis's comments about respecting performers' experiences have added another layer of intrigue, but they stop short of directly confirming any allegiance. In many ways, the situation highlights how quickly narratives can form in the modern entertainment landscape. A few comments in interviews, a vague response from another figure, and suddenly the media is discussing a full-blown feud. Whether or not the conflict is as serious as it appears, the story has already sparked broader conversations about creative collaboration. Actors often bring unique perspectives and ideas to their roles. Directors and producers, on the other hand, must balance those contributions with the overall vision of a project. Finding the right balance between creative freedom and structured direction can sometimes be challenging. Disagreements are not unusual in the filmmaking process. In fact, many successful productions involve intense creative debates behind the scenes. What makes this situation different is the visibility of the people involved. When high-profile artists share even small glimpses of their experiences, those insights can quickly become major headlines. That appears to be exactly what has happened here. Jamie Lee Curtis's thoughtful remarks about respecting different perspectives have become a focal point in the discussion. For some observers, her comments suggest empathy toward Hannah's viewpoint. For others, they simply reflect Curtis's long-standing belief in professionalism and collaboration. Until more information emerges, it may be impossible to know for certain where she truly stands. But that uncertainty is part of what keeps the story alive. Fans love trying to read between the lines and piece together the full picture. And in Hollywood, where public statements are often carefully crafted, even subtle hints can spark endless debate. What remains clear is that all three individuals involved, Ryan Murphy, Daryl Hannah, and Jamie Lee Curtis, have had significant impacts on the entertainment industry. Murphy's groundbreaking television series have reshaped modern storytelling. Hannah's performances have left a lasting mark on film history, and Curtis continues to be celebrated for both her acting achievements and her thoughtful voice in industry conversations. Because of that, any interaction between them naturally draws attention. As the story continues to evolve, audiences will likely keep watching for new developments. Will Curtis eventually clarify her position? Will Murphy or Hannah address the rumors more directly? Or will the situation fade away as many Hollywood controversies eventually do? For now, all we have are fragments of information, interpreted through interviews, comments, and speculation. But sometimes those fragments are enough to ignite a fascinating discussion about how relationships work within the entertainment world. One thing is certain: stories like this remind us that the film and television industry is not just about scripts and cameras. It is also about personalities, creative visions, and the sometimes complicated dynamics that arise when talented people work together. And when those dynamics involve some of Hollywood's most recognizable names, the world pays attention. So what do you think about this situation? Do you believe Jamie Lee Curtis might be quietly supporting Daryl Hannah's perspective? Or do you think her comments were simply general observations about the importance of respect on set? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring Hollywood stories, industry debates, and the behind-the-scenes dynamics that shape the entertainment world, make sure to subscribe for more updates and deep dives into the latest celebrity news. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.